Meghan Burke.
I'm going to read a statement I planned to read in Burkendale, but did not get a chance. Most of us know that zoning has always been kind of a dirty word in Caroline. It's just not who we are or who we ever want to be for all the reasons people have shared. But did you know zoning is also a dirty word in the current federal government, which is pushing local towns and states to reduce or eliminate zoning because they recognize it for what it's about, economic discrimination. So please consider the history of zoning and then tell us that you want that here, the same force that has redlined entire towns and eliminated climate-friendly, affordable housing in favor of single-family homes and lot size limits, the same sort of restrictions cropping up in our draft. The demographics may be different in cities where zoning has contributed to racial injustice, but the principles of discrimination are the same everywhere. Zoning is a dirty word because it's synonymous with NIMBYism, not in my backyard, but in yours. Now the town board is clearly attuned to this, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But who will be on the board in 5 years or 5 generations down the line? The law is permanent, it's very hard to repeal. Do we really want to usher in something that has proven time and time again to be abused by self-interest and class discrimination at every turn? And if you think that will never happen here because we're too enlightened and we have a planner, just consider how all this started. And I know some work was done before this, but in most people's minds, this began with depriving a farmer of the fair value of their land to block a dollar store that serves people living in poverty in Caroline from being built on a commercial highway. Now, whether you believe Dollar General is a good company or an evil one, or blocking it was the right call, that's a very slippery slope. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence that zoning is somehow going to be different here. And all this talk about misconceptions, zoning doesn't regulate health and safety. It does not stop big development, which has plenty of resources to deal with it. It doesn't save wildlife or fight climate change, and it does the opposite of preserving open space. It says, let's put a store maybe on the east side of Caroline instead of the west because we don't want to look at it. So the draft, which I'm sure the board maybe wishes it could walk back, is actually brilliant because it gives us a very clear picture of where this could all go. A town where you can't even start up a lawnmower or a motorcycle because it's too loud, where McMansions are welcome to eat up farmland instead of multifamily housing that consumes far less space. And it doesn't matter what gets taken out of the draft. Do you think things like this won't end up there in the future? This is why we aren't interested in debating bullet points. The town board is considering zoning. The people have already considered it, and it's a resounding no. We don't want zoning at all. We're against it in principle and detail. We don't want to review a watered-down draft, and we're sorry that a lot of people have put work into it, but it doesn't change the fact that this is just not a path that we want to go down. We all just want to get back to our lives. And if we were taking bets, it seems pretty clear where each board member perhaps stands on this, so the vote seems like it might come down to a majority by perhaps one single vote, maybe two. It may be the letter of the law, but does it really seem right that all future generations in this town should rest on the vote of perhaps one single person? So here's an idea. Let's implement a 2-year moratorium on zoning itself.